Hello, I'm here today to discuss an important issue within the world of medicine and mental health that I would like to bring to light to anyone that knows very much to very little about the subject. The main goals of my words today to you are to highlight the importance of differentiating psychedelics from other harmful drugs and to shift the perspectives held by individuals such as Richard Hawley towards recognizing the potential benefits of psychedelics. Through this recognition, I hope that new policies and reforms for psychedelics for medical use, with the inclusion of strong regulations that will help protect children and the vulnerable populations from unregulated access while still offering hope and healing to anyone that is struggling, is a great direction to move on this issue. I believe that through these goals of mine and with what I am discussing, that I will educate you all about the legalization of psychedelics and reform of psychoactive drugs within our country. By the end of my speech, I truly do hope that I am able to shift your perspectives on this issue no matter what they are, so that you recognize the positive implications that psychedelics could have on research, mental health, and our understanding of the human mind. Now, to give you a little background on this issue, I would like to explain how psychedelics got to where they are now, because it was a long road. Psychedelics popped into human culture and caused an emergence of religion and advanced human thought throughout the world thousands of years ago. This proves that the first humans were exploring their consciousness just as we do with psychedelics today, except that modern research has actually allowed for a better understanding of them. At the center of my issue on psychedelics use and regulation lies the United States government, because of its complicated relationship with psychedelics. In the 1950s, psychedelic drugs such as LSD and psilocybin became a focal point of deep psychiatric research in the United States by organizations such as the CIA and other government organizations. This research led to a rise in major popularity in counterculture through the popularity of hippie lifestyle itself. By the end of the 1960s, psychedelic drugs were found to be non-addictive, safe, and the possibilities of these compounds being able to treat a wide range of psychological conditions fueled research, but the possession of psychedelics were criminalized by the U.S. federal government in 1968. Comparing psychedelics to other drugs such as heroin, crack, powdered cocaine, and methamphetamine has led to a blanket demonization of all drugs. Because of the demonization of psychedelics, there has been a blatant ignorance towards the unique properties and benefits of psychedelics. I want you to think of the issue as an analogy between eggs and drugs. Just as a few bad eggs don't ruin an entire dozen, Just as a few eggs don't ruin an entire dozen, harmful substances like heroin, crack, and methamphetamine should not overshadow the numerous potential and positive implications of beneficial substances such as LSD and psilocybin. In his article, Legalizing the Intolerable is a Bad Idea, Richard Hawley argues that legalizing drugs is a weak response to our nation's drug problem. I strongly believe that these issues should be debated and discussed, but certainly not dismissed. Support comes from stakeholders like you, Mr. Hawley, myself, and I believe that we can find a compromise that meets the needs of all parties involved. The legalization status of psychedelics needs to change, and I seek your support in this effort. Our views may be on completely opposite sides of the spectrum, but our concerns about public health, safety, and well-being of children in America are something that I believe in, that I believe most individuals in this country care about and hold close as values. I propose a policy that aligns with our shared values in public health, moral responsibility, and human ethics, and evidence-based decision-making. Through Richard Hawley's prohibitionist approach to the issue of legalizing psychedelics lies a concern of mine with how that worked out in the past. I want you to consider a regulated approach to psychedelics that involves strict controls and oversight with proper education of the research of the substance that can mitigate these issues. The prohibition failed because alcohol was made illegal, which led to a great increase of the illegal production and sale of liquor, which then led to a steep rise in gang violence and organized crime, with criminal figures of the era rising such as Al Capone, Machine Gun Kelly, and Bugs Moran. These individuals gained directly from the prohibition, whereas if alcohol was still legal at the time, they would not have had such an opportunity to commit murders and crime sprees across America. This alone shows that even after banning something completely, does not solve the problem at all, but rather opens the door all the way for criminal activity to creep in. Countries such as Portugal, which decriminalized all drugs in 2001, provide a compelling case study. Portugal's policy shift towards treatment and harm reduction has led to significant declines in drug-related deaths and HIV infections. Medicalized approaches such as Portugal's can reduce crime and improve health outcomes. Psychedelics have shown immense potential in treating mental health conditions. Researchers at Johns Hopkins and NYU have published their research on the Journal of Psychopharmacology in 2016 that provided new significant evidence for the therapeutic value of psychedelics and for the positive implications that they have over mental health. Michael Pollan references in a study from Johns Hopkins and NYU that proved that a single high dose of psilocybin has the ability to significantly alleviate mental health conditions, which include depression, addiction, and anxiety for the terminally ill. I hope that after listening to what I have to say about the legalization of psychedelics, that you all share the moral and ethical responsibility that is needed in order to help adopt policies that minimize harm and maximize benefits for society. So I want you to consider legalizing or consider compromising with me on an evidence-based drug reform that decriminalizes psychedelics. Thank you very much. Have a great rest of your day.